All right, now focusing on Sprouts Farmers Market. It ranks number 11 out of all public companies in terms of strength of financial statement trend, and it ranks fourth or fifth in terms of proximity of current price to the indicated buy at price. The stock is somewhat controversial in the sense that there are strong views on both sides, and the current short interest is 14% of shares outstanding versus 3% on average for S&P 500 stocks. On Seeking Alpha, there are at least two excellent recent articles, one entitled Sprouts Farmers Market is a Good Stock Despite Concerns About Margin Compression. The other, taking the opposite view, although I believe the author concludes with a neutral rating, margins are Sprouts' Achilles heel. In that latter article, Achilles heel article, there's also an interesting comment that starts out, good assessment of pros and cons. I spent a career in key positions at competitors and can assure you their current gross margin of 37% is not sustainable. And it goes on. Anyway, it says that despite the price, it's a value trap and etc. Well, maybe, I don't know. I don't know which article is correct. We don't make predictions. We have no idea what the economy or the interest rates or, we don't predict earnings. All I can tell you is this. In early 2019, this company's free cash flow started to increase significantly, and way before COVID. I mean, the argument is that COVID, caused people to eat more at home and less in restaurants, and it benefited supermarkets. And of course, that's correct. And then the general argument sometimes goes, well, now COVID is solved by vaccines, so supermarkets are not going to experience the same kind of growth and margins that they have. Yes, very, very possible. But in the case of Sprouts, it's a niche player, high-end, organic, healthy food, and its strong profitability trends. You could argue they began, in 2016, but they certainly began in early mid 2019, way before COVID, and the stock price has way underperformed the improvement in profitability. So we'll take a look here. This chart is from the article prepared by Stock Brothers Research, the one I mentioned. Sprouts Farmers Market is a good stock despite concerns about margin compression. That was published a couple weeks ago, and it goes through all the different key measurements of supermarket profitability, and in every case, except for perhaps the final one, days payable outstanding, Sprouts way outperforms the average company in the industry. Here we look at momentum, financial statement momentum, and the bottom graph indicates all the different measurements of financial strength, interest coverage by operating free cash flow, cash in relationship to total liabilities, free cash flow in relationship to total liabilities, debt equity ratio, and we see a consistent improvement for the last roughly 10 quarters. And that's also reflected in a general, this top one is not growth of of gross profit and revenue in absolute terms. It's the trend in improvement. And you can see that every quarter it improves, with the exception of a couple of years ago. And, it's fairly steady. I mean, it's an improvement every quarter over the prior quarter. And these comments here reflect not only gross profit and revenue, but also the bottom graph as well, balance sheet improvement. And so here we look at growth, revenue, gross profit, operating free cash flow, pre-tax free cash flow per share. I mean, these are all very strong trends. I look at, I don't know, hundreds of these companies in a week, certainly thousands over the course of a month, and this is very strong. Looking at the company's stock chart, and this, I think, is a good illustration of the strengths and weaknesses of the pattern recognition algo we use. You see a buy here, which was not particularly advantageous. We see 3 buys down here that were, 4 sells that were, 4 buys that were not, 4 buys that were, 3 sales that were. So overall, we're looking at 20% profit per position, roughly 5 months per position holding period, and 45% annualized return. The current, these numbers have changed slightly. They were as of the close yesterday. This is updated every 15 minutes throughout the trading day. We're currently 3:26 p.m., last updated at 3:18. And Sprouts is number 3 in terms of proximity to buy-at level. So this middle column here are stocks rated by strength of financial statement trend, or what we call financial statement momentum. Here, proximity to buy-at, and Sprouts is number 3. So we are buyers at 23.71, a couple bucks below the current stock price. All right. We'll just close with a couple of quick comments on our investment strategy. Netflix was the best performing stock of the S&P 500 in the decade ended 2020, up 37 times. So $1 invested at the beginning of the decade was worth $37.26 at the end. But despite that superb performance, it experienced 5 declines of more than 30% and 1 more than 80%. On average, those 5 declines were 47%. And that's important. Even in the best performing S&P 500 stock, it experienced 5 declines of almost 50% on average. And our software, our pattern recognition software, is designed to take advantage of that, of the emotion, the fear, the predictions about the economy, the predictions about interest rates, the political upheaval, and the exiting of positions by institutions, by whoever, people who are afraid. These, when you have a strong financial statement performance and a weak stock price performance, there's opportunity there, and that is a characteristic of the market that our software is designed to capitalize on. Okay, enough about our strategy. If you want to learn more, just go to our website, SuperGrowthMultiBaggers.com, click on methodology, and thanks for your interest in the research, and post comments below. I'll respond. Click like if you found this research interesting. It helps us a lot in terms of our search ranking on YouTube. Also, you can become a subscriber to this YouTube channel. You can subscribe to the actual research. It's like $49 a month, $3.99 a year. You can subscribe on our website. There's a 2-week free trial. And if you're wondering what that snoring, heavy breathing is in the background, if you're new to SuperGrowth MultiBaggers, that's my old dog Fozzie Bear, who sleeps 23.5 hours a day and refuses to leave my side. So here she is, and Her snoring provides the background music. And thank you again.